webinar for December 16th, 2015. This is Karen Daniel with the OAUG staff, and I thank you all very much for joining us today. All of the attendees will be in listen-only mode during the webinar. If you have questions or comments, please type them into the question box, and we will answer them at the end. If you're having any difficulty with audio or visual, go ahead and put those in, and we'll fix that for you. If you have questions for our speaker, type those in as well, and we will answer those at the end. So there's a couple things on our agenda for today. We will have a brief OAUG update. Then we'll have an introduction of the speaker, we'll have the session, and then some questions and discussion at the end. So just a couple of quick updates for you. Collaborate registration is now open, and this is a great chance for you to learn with your peers, really find out more and more about the applications that you're using. There's a lot of networking, there is a lot of great educational content offered that week. If you're thinking about attending and you would like some help with justification, if you go to the OAUG Collaborate website, which is listed there on your screen, there is a tab with some information about how to get approval to attend. So if you're not the decision maker in your company as far as who gets to go to Collaborate, there's some great resource material there that you can use to build your case to attend. So I encourage you to take a look at that. Registration is now open. If your company is a member of the OAUG, then you and all of your coworkers can take advantage of the member discount on Collaborate. And if you send a team of 4 or more, then you can also get a group discount. So the best rates are available now. So go ahead and look at the collaborate.oaug website and take advantage of the best deal in the next few weeks before the middle of February. And then we also want to know what you'd like to talk about in the February Young Professionals Forum webinar. We do these every other month, and so of course the next one will be in February. There is a survey, and I will send you this link with a follow-up email tomorrow, but if you want to take a minute now, it's just surveymonkey.com/r/OAUGYP. And on that form, you can tell us what topics are of interest to you, and also perhaps you might like to be involved in a leadership role with this group. So we'd love to hear from you, and we will be announcing the topic and the date for the February webinar fairly soon. And then we'll also meet face-to-face at Collaborate in April. So that wraps up all of our information on the OAUG content for today. I'm now going to introduce Caton Thonke, who is on our OAUG Board of Directors, and he is one of the founders of the OAUG Young Professionals Forum. As chair of the membership committee last year, he helped get this group started, and he's with us today with more about our speaker for today's webinar. So, Caton?
Thank you very much, Karen. Appreciate that. Hello, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Christina Blincoe. So Christina comes to us with over 20 years of experience, mostly on the Oracle database side, and she's been working with Oracle applications and also was the pioneer in starting the Oracle user group in Kansas City. She has been a constant learner on her job, and obviously she's willing to share her experience with us and share some of the challenges that she ran into and how she overcame those challenges. And we are really looking forward to this presentation from her, and for us to learn how she found joy at her work. So with that brief introduction, over to you, Christina.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christina Blincoe, and I work at my dream job, which is Burns McDonnell. It's an engineering firm that was founded in 1898. It was voted the best place to work in Kansas, well, in the U.S., but the #1 engineering firm to work for, best places to work. We're a 100% employee-owned company. which means we have a very entrepreneurship spirit about our company. We foster a culture of trust and respect. So it's a great place to work. So I wanted to get started today to tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about my journey as I've gone through the Oracle space now for 20 years, and hope to give you some encouragement today, to inspire you. I'm not a public speaker. I'm also not a well-known motivational expert by any means, but I come to you today to talk to you about having joy at work. And I'm not here because I found some magic formula to finding joy, or to tell you that finding joy can happen overnight. But I am here because, like many of you, I have struggled and wrestled for a long time about my choice to stay personally unhappy. And, you know, I thought someone else may have that kind of control over my joy. It could be a family member, a boss, a coworker. But the truth is that no one has that control over you. So you have a choice every day to be happy and to share that with other people. So if you're struggling in the same way that I was, I am glad that you're here today. And this is not your typical technical presentation found in most Oracle webinars, but this topic is something I think all of us are kind of missing, and it's a concept that can really change every aspect of our life if we start applying some of these things. So I hope that you're here to learn with me today, and again, ask any questions if you have any, and I'll try to get those at the end. So my journey started in April of 1995. I landed a position at Koch Industries working side by side with Oracle consultants, and it was really my first exposure to the Oracle space. So how best to learn Oracle apps, but from the best, right? Oracle consultants. So I was fresh out of college, and my career seemed so bright and full of promise, and I was very motivated and wanted to learn everything. I had a strong desire to learn. And I wanted to read every Oracle material I could. I wanted to be mentored by these people that were very highly professional individuals. So really, what happened along the way? I think we all get to those places in our lives where we have to give an honest answer to the question, how am I doing? Am I happy? Am I stuck in a rut? And if I am, why? And how did I get here? So we can come up with excuses of how we act and how we respond to others or situations. We can come up with excuses of why we stay in the same job we hate, or why we aren't willing to take the next step to help in our community or to go above and beyond our daily job duties. But these excuses, are they keeping you healthy, and are they keeping you happy? And what we're going to do today is find what that joy, what that approach is. So let's see. So let's step back for a minute and tell you a little bit more about me. I'm basically the first person in my family to graduate college. I know that seems kind of hard to believe. I had no parents, grandparents, siblings, until a year ago. My brother graduated college, but since then I was the only person in my family, and that is really the reason I'm here. I want you to know that I think that you can have a successful and joy-filled career with Oracle. Many of you are probably starting out in your career, so I hope that this is an encouragement today. You see there's a lot of adversity that we face every day, and it's a challenge for us to be able to get through those times. And I basically graduated in 3 years instead of 4, and I tell you all of this because you may know someone that can relate to this, or that you're a person that could encourage someone else to pursue their dreams. So I'm a mother of 3 boys. My oldest is in college now. He's 19. I have a middle son, 14, and my little guy is 5. So if you've ever been around boys, you know that it's a really rowdy time. And being a full-time DBA, being on call, there's a lot of challenges. And so if you are looking, if you're in that similar situation and you're looking for a career in a job that maybe, you know, isn't supporting your family life, you might need to evaluate that. And so Oracle is not an easy career path. We all know that. We have to be sharp. We have to be focused. We have to be committed. And so I'm not suggesting that you find a career that's going to make you take the easy way out. It's a very challenging career. So you have to balance both. So let's go ahead and look at the next slide. Let's see. We are on. Okay. So what is joy? Joy is an abiding sense of happiness. It's a bright, sun-filled emotion. It's success in doing. It's an action. It's something we get something out of. Joyful people are typically happy, even when the situation is bad. You probably have been around these kind of people. And so I have this slide. The next one is the difference between joy and happiness. And joy is not happiness. It's more than happiness. It's a peace and a contentment and a feeling of being at rest. And I'll jump to happiness. It can be fleeting. It's a temporary and short-term feeling. So let's go to the next one. So where's the joy? So my problem, I'm being very transparent, was that I had the wrong definition of joy. I thought that joy meant feeling good all the time, and that was an impossible thing. And even for those who are naturally upbeat and optimistic, it's just an impossible place. You can't have that all the time. So we have to start somewhere more realistic. So my next slide talks about 3 areas that we can start to find our joy. And the first one is identifying our current priorities. What are the priorities in our life? What's important to us? Identifying those is an important piece of finding your joy. And then the second one is what is your current perspective? So my perspective was really off. So I had to evaluate that for myself. And then what is our current attitude? And then do your priorities, your perspective, and your attitude towards your current job or career reflect the joy that you have? So these are you have to dig deep inside and really answer those questions for yourself. So my key advice to you is that in any highly professional profession like Oracle, that we need to never stop learning. It's something that I've done my whole career. I've had to keep up from Oracle version 7 to all the way to 12C. So it's a constant learning. We need to set goals for ourselves so that we can go beyond what anyone else expects from us. And we need to find a mentor. And sometimes mentors aren't a person that's physically next to you that you can ask all these questions, career questions to. Sometimes a mentor is someone that you've read a book of, you know, an author, or someone that's, you know, had I don't know, a blog or something that you can follow that gives you some encouragement. And then I mentioned this earlier, but face adversity head on and never let it set you back. And teach others through your example, because you are an example to other people around you. And then be the person of integrity in your workplace. This is really important. So the next slide, the current priorities. So define your priorities throughout your day. So set the direction of your day and make the most of your time. Are you working on the most important items? And this next one, choose projects and tasks that you're most valuable at. So I absolutely love implementing Oracle. I love upgrades. I love patching. It's something that is my topia. It's something that I really love. And so any opportunity that I have, I choose those types of projects because I know I'm going to be successful at it and have something to offer. Choose which meetings you attend to and actively participate. This one's a difficult one because most of us want to accept every meeting request that we get, and you have to be selective if you want to be able to give back something valuable to the team. And then increase our knowledge and effectiveness by reading books, and then work smarter, not harder, by focusing on today, not the weaknesses of our past or the future. And the perspective is, from my own experience, instead of looking at the next promotion or the next job that's ahead of us, build into your week personal development. And that could be, you know, reading a book, reading a magazine, anything that's going to help you find a different way to look at your surroundings. So you can become a person that's very optimistic when you start pouring into yourself through personal development. It could be 15 minutes in the morning for your 15-minute break or 15 minutes in the afternoon. That most companies offer that to their employees, so you can just make that your own personal development time. You can schedule a meeting for yourself and just read and pour into yourself some positive encouragement. This is how I've found creativity and leadership and motivation. It's really helped me find the joy in my job. And then when your perspective is focused on learning new ways to bring positive change to your workplace and finding new ways to look at an issue or troubleshoot a problem, your perspective does change from the daily grind to something that's challenging and fun for you. And then attitude. This one's really difficult to come to grips with because, you know, most of us think we have a great attitude, you know, most of the time, but you really have to look at this if this is an area for you. How we think and speak is a reminder of how our environment will be. So when you speak, try to make sure that you're discussing an idea and not complaining about an issue or someone. The best version of you will emerge when you decide to use your potential to make the world better. And that's, like they mentioned, I didn't have an Oracle community to be a part of locally in Kansas City, and so about 2 years ago, I, you know, got a hold of OAUG and IOUG and said, hey, how could I create a user group here in Kansas City? And so if you don't have it, you have the ability to create it and to go after it if it's something important to you. So we can control ourselves, our attitude, our work ethic, and how we respond to issues or challenges in front of us. And our words are powerful influences to other people. So if you have a sense of pride in what you're speaking highly of to others, then you become an encouragement, and you can show your maturity in a level of leadership that most people don't see. So this is really important. And I put this slide here, and I would encourage all of you to take some time to go to this website and fill out the quiz. It's a very powerful tool, and it's something that I did about almost 4 years ago for myself. And there's a lot of self-help books out there, you know, to tell us how to fix ourselves or how to, you know, improve in this area that someone thinks we're weak at. But this tool is very powerful because it tells you what your strengths are. So you start to develop in these areas where you're strongest at. You're naturally gifted at something, and so all of us are different in that area. And so whatever your it'll tell you your top 5 strengths. You know you can actually put energy into those instead of working on your weaknesses. And so it's very useful. So I listed on the next slide some of my strengths. Like I said, these are the top 5 that came when I took the quiz, and I think they have really served me well in the Oracle applications database role. And my top one was an achiever, significance, includer, focus, and belief. So the one takeaway that I want every one of you to get from this session today is that you can be a big dreamer. So when you're empowering others to believe in themselves, you will succeed as a result. So here's to dreaming big together. That's what I want from us. So the next slide, I just want you to know that you can do this. This is a very great career. A career in Oracle is, you know, very lucrative, but it's also very rewarding. And so here's some takeaways: is to believe in yourself, never stop learning, keep pushing through, focus on your goals, and find a mentor, like I've mentioned before. So we talked about how our priorities, our perspective, and our attitude can play a role in our joy. So I'll ask you today, do your priorities, perspective, and attitude towards your current job or career reflect the joy that you have? And how full of joy are you? Are you typically sad or just existing? And what can you do to be more joyful? I like this next slide from John Maxwell's book called Failing Forward. And I just picked out 4 of the key things about what he calls real success. And he's talking about 4 things: relationships, equipping, attitude, and leadership. And some of those things are things that we've talked about today. I know no one can answer me because you're all on mute, but the next slide is, I would ask, does anybody know who this is? And basically, this is one of my mentors. And like I said, a mentor doesn't have to be a person that's physically present in my everyday, but this person is someone that I have the same ideals, and I just really like her books. And she says, being confident and believing in your own self-worth is necessary to achieving your potential. And this is Sheryl Sandberg. She is the COO of Facebook. So I'm just really encouraged by her, her drive and her courage to be in that space and to be so successful. I think they said she was worth like $2 billion or something crazy. It's just mind-boggling. The next slide is my contact information. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can email me at my work or at my Gmail account. I would love to be a mentor for you or to answer any questions about, what I did or how I got to where I am today within Oracle. If you have any questions, just send me an email. That would be great. And I also listed some resources on the next slide, just some books and some just resources that I've really enjoyed. One of them being the Success Magazine. It includes a CD in your subscription, and Darren Hardy is the interviewer. He interviews top entrepreneurs, and it's just a really encouraging, really gets you fired up and to learn about how people do different types of business. Are there any questions? Did I go too fast?
No, I think your pace was fine, Christina. What I'd like to do is, while Karen is trying to see if there are any questions from the other audience members, I'd like to kick it off with a question of my own, and I'm sure several of the folks attending the call have probably come across that situation. So this probably happened earlier in your career when you were working and you wanted to solve a problem that you came up with, and you were trying to find a resolution through different resources that you could tap into, and you probably knew that one or two people in your group or your supervisor knew the solution to the problem, but they would be reluctant to share that with you. How did you address that challenge? How did you overcome that scenario, if indeed you encountered such a situation?
Well, early on, I've networked really well within Oracle. So, going to the conferences, meeting new people. I've always had a very strong LinkedIn network connection with other Oracle, I would say not coworkers, but just friends. And so in my situation, if there was a problem that I wasn't able to find on, MetaLink or through, other coworkers if they weren't willing to share, then I would reach out to my Oracle friends in my network, and I got a great response. The Oracle, the OAUG website has a lot of material that you can find, pretty much documentation for most technical issues, but also just using MetaLink, leveraging every aspect of the material that's available is really where I would start.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. When I was learning Oracle back about 15, 18 years ago, I would come up to the same problem where there is a problem I need to resolve, but some of the coworkers are unwilling to share the knowledge or the information. Of course, back then, Google was not that prevalent,
right?
and neither was a MetaLink as strong as the knowledge base as it is today, and nor did we have LinkedIn. So in my case, I actually had to contact professionals outside of my company through friends and try and get resolution. So it was a little bit harder back then. But,
yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was harder. And I think, just technology in general has come a long way in the last 15, 20 years. And so we can see that we have a lot more at our fingertips now than we did. And, in that situation, when I would find an issue that I needed help with, and when I finally got to a resolution, I documented really well, because I knew that either my memory or it would be too much of a time lapse that I would not remember the solution again. So I documented, I learned early on to document very well. So not only for myself, but to be able to train other coworkers or new employees.
I think that last point you made about being able to share that information with others, that was key, because whatever you went through, you didn't want others after you to go through the same problem. So you documented it, and you probably shared that internally within the company or through emails or whatever. And then that, I think, is the key, and that's probably what gave you the joy.
Yes. Yeah, I think you can't really do a good job if you're not sharing the information. I think if you become almost a hoarder of those, of information, then you're really not collaborating with others. And so I don't see that anyone's going to, get my job or fight for a promotion or anything like that by me sharing the information. So I've never been burned by just being available to other people.
Yeah, and I share the same opinion. I've never had a problem sharing additional information with others. Nobody said, "Hey, why are you sharing this with me?" I've always had people come back and say, "Oh, thanks for sharing," kind of a response. So that's always helpful. We'll turn it over to Karen. Karen, are there any other questions from the rest of the attendees?
No, there are no questions in the box. Would anyone like to type in a question? All right, we'll give it another minute, and while anybody might be thinking about typing in a question, let me just thank you all so much for joining us today for the Young Professionals Forum. If you would like more information about the OAUG Young Professionals, you can email us at membership@oaug.org. There's also a page on the OAUG website. If you go to the oaug.org, click the membership tab, and then down to Young Professionals. And on that page, we have all the recordings of the previous webinars, and we'll have information up there soon about the events happening at Collaborate. And I do hope that all of you will join us there. And then please do fill out our survey. I will email the link to you, as I said, to help us choose the topic for the February webinar. So there are no additional questions in the box. So unless Caton or Christina have any further comments, we will end the webinar.
Well, just one other thing. Well, just one other thing I wanted to comment, and that was, Christina, what you talked about building your network. And I think despite having the best of technology and the tools at our fingertips, it is very, very important to have a good network of your contacts, either through LinkedIn or professional contacts through OAUG, or attending conferences where you can build and continue to build your network is very, very critical, because it will not only help you in finding a solution to a problem that you may run into, but it may also help you in maybe finding your next job, or helping somebody else find their next job, or anything like that. I think building a network is very, very critical.
Yes.
Okay. We do have one comment in the question box. It says, thank you for the webinar. She doesn't have a question, but she says it was very interesting, and thank you for the good information. So thank you again, Christina. I think everyone really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you. I hope that I had something to offer. Thank you very much for having me.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your information, Christina. And for the attendees, this is the last of the call for this calendar year, but we'll continue this series next year. So continue to look forward to providing additional interesting presentations to all of you.
Thank you all so much for joining us. This session is being recorded, so if you'd like to share with your coworkers who could not attend today, it will be posted tomorrow on the OAUG website. And thank you again for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.